I was in the wrong studio. Good morning, everybody.
Well, I was wondering because it kept saying scheduled, and I was like, damn, I thought we
Hump
were like
day, hump
5 minutes
hump
away.
day.
Uh,
Yeah.
did you see where Val Kilmer passed away?
Huh?
You see where Val Kilmer passed away?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, 65 years old. Been battling
Did he have
cancer.
throat cancer or something?
Yeah, he'd been battling it for a long time, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, what a great actor, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really keep up with that stuff, but I just seen it on the headlines on my laptop when I popped it on this morning. And
Yeah.
I mean, he did such a great job as Doc Holliday, man.
Oh, yeah, he did.
God Almighty,
Yeah.
that's the
Tombstone.
the best Doc Holliday I've ever seen. You know, someone that played that position. So
Yeah, he did a good job.
yeah. So I mean, it's
He was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the one with Heat, the movie Heat. You know, where they were thieves or something, and they were gangsters or thieves or something like that. I think it was Heat. Was it Heat? He was in with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and all those, and they was robbing banks and stuff, or stealing things. They were stealing like artifact or something like that. Yeah. But what about that AI stuff? It's pretty neat, ain't it? Mess around with that AI.
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
It's funny when you put in details and stuff, and it pops out pictures, and I don't know. It's kind of it's AI. I don't really care for a lot of it, but
I mean, it's not. It looks more cartoonish.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though.
It's fun just to. I tried
Easy
to.
living. Good morning.
What's up, buddy? I did one this morning, and I was like, early morning scene on a golf course, and of course it puts me in it, and I'm like, damn, I didn't want it. I just wanted the scene. You know what I mean? Yeah. And because it always suggests, well, what about this? What if it,
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but I've got wind advisories today. High strong wind.
Oh, we do too, man.
50 degrees. It's cold. Coming. Yeah. It's cold here and cloudy and wet and high
winds. Could be 80 degrees here.
Oh man, that sounds nice.
Yeah, but it winds up to 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Then storms coming tonight with potential tornadoes. And
I take it back. It's 55 right now. Yeah, it's saying it's supposed to be 77 today. I guess those winds will blow in some warmer weather. So, Coy, nice job on the videos, bud.
Put out some.
I'm not going to tell you they're awesome and great because I don't want your ego getting crazy. So, there is a couple of things I could say. I would like to tell you on them though, and and don't take this personally. I understand, doing things.
Heck with that
limited stuff.
2-4. Happy Wednesday, man.
What's up, buddy? Maybe kind of do some zoom ins, when you're sanding for a few minutes. And
the problem is I'm working with the iPhone and it's hard to.
That's what John was saying. You had the iPhone, and it's. I think if you, I'm not for sure what iPhone you got. Certain iPhones. If you're recording, you take your thumb and hold the screen and like push up, it will zoom in and push back.
You can zoom in if you're.
I know it's hard to do while you're working, so
trying to hold it and sand it.
You need some GoPros to put up in the corners, and you gotta get with the standards. No, I'm just kidding, but
I would look into a 360. Because the way you move around and you need to go around the wood, you need to look around, be able to go completely in a circle. That's just my suggestion, because as a viewer, I want to see close detail. You know what I mean? While you're doing it, and the editing could be so awesome, where you turn and you can, see, because you can zoom in the editing stage. You know what I mean? I'm sure you could do all that in the editing, and
finally got some sun.
It looked good though, dude. I like the way you did those benches, because when you first started the benches, I was like, why is he using such thick wood? I thought different. I thought it was going to be something different.
Okay, I like a Sportster setup.
And then I realized you were, using them for the legs and stuff.
Right.
Kids daycare standing by.
Yeah, that was the frame of it, the legs and the.
But them are good little benches, though, man. I mean, they're
It's quick, easy. Anybody can do it.
And they're sturdy. They're thick.
Yeah.
Bonfire in the yard. You could put them on a patio. You could put them around a pool. You could,
it'll last forever.
Yeah, I think they look really good, and I'm sure you know that as well. Maybe do like I was saying, like either sand them down, of course, and like varnish or clear coat or whatever you guys do. You know more about it than I do. I don't.
Yeah, I was thinking about staining them.
I like that wood burning thing. Like take a blowtorch and kind of burn the wood, and then kind of varnish them or whatever, and then let that pattern of that burn, kind of be in it. I don't know how it works with that kind of wood you're working with, so I don't know. I'm sure there's difference to certain wood. So
they look pretty cool.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, hump day, Wednesday, hump day.
Just another day, in my opinion.
For us to retire people, it is.
Hump day is just
just another day.
I wonder who came out with hump day and then
remember those Geico? Was it Geico commercials or some kind of commercial they had that
Taco Tuesdays and then Throwback Thursdays or Thirsty Thursdays and the
Thirsty Thursday, Throwback Thursday.
Like that's what I'm wondering. Like who created that? Commercials company? Somebody that just advertisement?
Yeah, somebody came up with it. Sort of a way
decided to advertise it and then say, "Hey, we're
well, I mean, when you're working, you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So
hump day it really means like we're over the hump in the middle of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, getting past. Yeah,
it's getting close to Friday to the weekend. Good morning, bud.
Working for the weekend.
And they made so many songs like different. Like it seemed like it's so easy just to make a song that relates to the days of the week. Like finally Friday.
Yeah. Finally Friday. Monday. Yeah, all kinds.
Fishing in the dark, and all them. It's like they relate a lot of music to the days of the week, or doing things.
Yeah. I hope God we don't have no major. We had a tornado. It was verified that we had a tornado hop over.
I was wondering because those trees just seemed like, man, that had to be some strong wind just to be pulling up trees like that.
It took a path all the way through our community, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm glad it just didn't land on the top of my house. Good Lord, that would have been bad. Yeah.
All right, be careful. Love you.
Kid Rock was at the White House. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, what an outfit! He wears some a lot of outfits, don't he?
Yeah, I mean that's his thing. I mean that's cool,
Yeah, they were signing papers on.
He brought Bill Maher with him, and they had.
They said they had a lunch, and they had like a breaking the bread, I guess, and I ain't really seen a lot of stuff on it except for just them saying that well,
Kid Rock asked him to come and asked Trump if he'd have him, and Trump said sure, and they said Kid Rock said they got along pretty good.
Said he brought Bill Maher brought a paper that had all the things that Trump had said about him, comments like made fun of him, all that. Had Trump asked Trump to sign it. Trump signed it for him. He autographed the paper he brought that, all the said about him.
It's just politics.
It was,
right?
he was just, but they said that now from who I heard said that they had a real good meeting, lunch or whatever you want to call it. Gotcha. They really got along. And well, when you got somebody like Bill and then you got somebody sitting around with common sense that can explain common sense to people that look, but Bill's kind of been on the outside, and that's what someone else was saying. Well, this is going to end him with Democrats and his party, and it was like he's been on that outside for a while because he's not been. Yes, he's the old school Democrat. He's not. He's not like the woke. Yeah, he even said
he don't like the woke stuff.
Yeah, he don't want that crap. And but
How did 2-4? I mean not 2-4. How did Kid Rock
2-4? How'd you get to the White House, buddy?
Yeah, well, that's White House 2-4. How did Kid Rock get to know President Bush so well, man? That's our president. I'm losing it this morning.
Damn, son. What year are you
in? Way back, man.
President Trump. So good.
Well, he said it in an interview once with somebody.
What's in my water? What the hell?
He said that he was doing something, and he didn't get to know him really until, Trump started running or something. And I think he said something about he come out and said something. And then Trump or somebody invited him to play golf and meet him or something.
Crazy.
But it ain't like they've been friends with him for years. He just, it was like the last, several years, he's been like really.
Yeah, it was Dana White, Kid Rock, and Bill Maher was there. All three of them was there. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine sitting around that table? That's what's his name?
With Trump. That's crazy.
I mean, because Trump's a funny dude. Like, he's just a comedic, kind of, off the cuff shit comes out, Yeah. But that's what's his name was saying last night. Sean Hannity said, man, I'd have loved to have been the fly on that. And I'm like, dude, I like Sean Hannity to a point. But here's the thing. You've known Trump for 28 years. I get that. But damn, every time somebody gets around that man, they've got to sit in the back of their mind and think, damn, is he going to write about this or is he going to say something I say? Because he's a newsman. He's a reporter. That's what he, yeah, you can say off the record, but I mean, I don't think I'd want to sit and hang out with somebody all the time that, or that's a reporter, because you don't know what's going to be put on, put out there and what ain't. So yeah, that's what would be aggravating.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know Sean Hannity, look here, I don't know him, but I'm saying I've seen some of the things behind his life. And just like the lady that he's engaged to that's on the morning show, Ainsley woman, whatever her name is, the blonde, she's like, she showed pictures of him, they got engaged this past Christmas and all that. And she said, yes, he believes in all this stuff that he talks on his show, but he's not like this 24/7. He does this for his show, of course. And she's like, but when he's not doing his show, he's just a normal guy like us. He's just a normal common sense guy. They go and do things. They live, and he lives in Florida now. She's still staying in New York with her kid. They're going to get married, but he's not moving back to New York and she's not moving to Florida. So they make it work and that's how they're going to do it. So, which is fine. However you want to do it. I mean, sometimes I wish that.
You ain't with them every day. Maybe that's a good thing.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe if mine was in New York and I was here, or if mine was here and I was in Florida, maybe it would be an easier relationship.
And come in once a month.
Well, I mean, some people just do better when they're working on the road or out somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, say I'm on the road working, because it was better. When I was roofing and gone, I mean, it was just
would get apart. Yeah. So
yeah. You're not stuck around it. Yeah. You're not in everybody's space and Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if it gets to 70-something degrees. I know yesterday evening it finally got up to about 60-something. It finally got decent, like the weather-wise, like just being
it's going to be 80 here, and it's going to get cold for next week. Colder,
yeah.
So I don't understand this weather, man.
I need to cut my grass.
Yeah, I got to get mine cut. I'm going to do mine.
Cut here, too, but it's a swamp back there. You couldn't drive a tractor.
Dude, that seems like your yard, the way you showed it, and it was like that. I was thinking, man, does it stay like that? Like every time it rains? Like that's.
Well, it has to rain a lot. We're supposed to get a lot of rain too. I think
I'm saying your yard. It seemed like when you was walking through there in that video.
Oh yeah,
I was thinking, damn, I would hate to have that yard, man. Yeah, I'd hate to have a swamp in my yard like that, dude. because mine's on a like kind of going down at an angle hill, so all my water runs down in the woods. So
down in the woods. Yeah, cool. I was impressed to see some videos put out, man.
Hey, even just walking down the road, walking the dog and talking was good. I mean, that's good. You know, it's content, but I mean, I know you ain't worrying about content. I'm just saying it was good to put out.
What is your channel about? Is it going to be about woodworking and politics?
It's going to be a variety of different things. It's going to be woodworking. Then I'm going to do some. I'll probably go out to the parks and do some trail walking.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
Because you're in the woods, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to label.
Lost in the woods.
You don't want to label, like put yourself in a category or anything.
Yeah, a bubble. Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You want to be.
What the hell is that noise?
I don't know.
Sounds like a meth head's muffler.
But yeah, I'm gonna do different things.
Good deal, man. Good deal. So go check out Lost in the Woods with Coy. He's got some new content up.
Yeah, I think you do a good job by not.
I had your link. I put it out in the chat, but
putting yourself in a label.
Don't put yourself in a box.
Yeah. You want to reach everybody you can. You don't want to be stuck in one little genre of group.
I need to get 25 more subscribers so I can go live.
Hey, everybody, go check out Lost in the Woods with Coy. Subscribe.
Well, let me throw the link. Let me see if I can find the link. I'll put it in there.
Yeah, you got the controls. Go take care of business.
Take care of business.
Take care of business, man. Oh. The rabbit hole should be interesting tonight.
Well, we should have some good feedback on that, because that's
check out the rabbit hole tonight. We're going to be doing, did they really land on the moon? Have they ever landed on the moon? I don't think so. I mean, there's good arguments both ways, but I don't think they did. But we'll talk about that tonight.
I don't think they've even come close to it, my opinion, but that's my opinion. So
my opinion in this house doesn't matter. What?
My opinion.
Your opinion is worthless, boy. Where's everybody at? Wake up out there. The chat is silent. Silent.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I can't wait till it stays warm, gets warm and stays warm. I'm tired of this up and down crap, man. I just want it to be warm and stay warm.
Messes with your sinuses and everything else.
Oh, it messes with me big time, man. I can't take it.
Messes with your sinuses and everything else.
Oh, messes with me big time. Why we got an echo?
Because I'm doing something.
Oh, okay. There it is in the chats, man.
Okay, Coy. It's there. Okay, let's see here. Let me try to do something here also. Let me go to this.
Pin that sucker in pan.
Do you know you can see who your subscribers are if you're search channel?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, some people don't get to see who their subscribers are. Like, I don't know who's subscribed to me, who ain't. I do, because I know who I can see, you know.
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
Let me see. I want to go. Yeah, man. Let me go over here and see if I can find this real quick.
I can see all the obstacles in my way.
I can't believe that channel is completely going like that. It's insane.
I quit bragging.
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, man. Like, that's why I said, man, even a video, you know, that may not be popular now, may hit 6 months down the road, a year down the road.
Absolutely.
It'd be good to, you know.
I'm up to 4,285 on Retired Rider. I'm growing.
I just gained 2 more while we were talking. I'm at 286 on this.
You know what?
One.
We lost 2 on the rabbit hole. Did you see that? We lost two.
Well, because I think a lot of people they think it's about one thing, and then they get in there and see it, and they realize it's not. You know what I mean? It's different. So,
well,
but that's okay. I mean, we don't force anybody to watch our stuff. I'm just saying, maybe they think maybe there were two people that subscribed because we got into politics and they thought that's what it was about. Then they go back and look at it and they see it's more about, different history. Yeah. And or maybe they just thought it was, history stuff.
Or
and then we got into politics. Yeah.
Or it was bots. But that's what the rabbit hole is about. You got all kinds of tentacles reaching out there in all different areas. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is, man. Man, where's everybody at on this Wednesday morning? This is the lowest I've had in the chats in a long time. We're getting old. We're getting becoming old news. Nobody.
No, it's just early, man.
Nobody wants to hang out.
Let's see here.
Hey, I put a video up last night, a little short and late to see what would happen at midnight. And it's got already 927 views. So I was like, wow, I'm surprised at midnight you put up a little short and you get that many views. I was like, man, that's crazy. Are we still live? Somebody say something in the chats if you're there. Hello.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Hello.
Now you got okay. I just subscribed with my other channel, Coy. So.
I think I'm subscribed with all.
Maybe that would be a little bit. Maybe we'll advertise it on mine too when we do mine.
2-4.
Well, it is early morning. A lot of people don't want to wake up early, and a lot of people do. But so.
Rise and shine. I've been up since 6 o'clock.
How can you get up that early?
I've been up since 3:30, dude.
Well, I'm used to.
Dude, I get up that early every morning.
You get up at 3:30.
Yeah.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Always
testing,
up
1,
that
2,
early.
3. Testing.
Wow.
Testing.
Go to bed real early, or?
Last night I went to bed about 10:30, I guess.
Testing.
I've been on a schedule for years, man. The old lady gets up and she has to be up and gone by 4. And
don't listen to the advice, American Uncensored. You're right. They said I should try that. I thought about putting up late night, but the pros say don't. Pros say don't. They seem to give opposite advice. Yeah, the pros always give opposite advice because they don't want your channel to grow.
They don't want you growing. But here's the thing. I put one out the other night, and it's already got like 2,200 views, like 2,000 something views. And I put it out I put it out late, like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, I was real iffy about doing it. And yeah, those channels tell you that because they don't want you passing them. They're so, it's like such a competition. You may not even be doing this same thing they're doing. You could be a completely different channel. And those, it's like, man, it's such a competition. Everybody's racing to, and it's like, dude, if somebody likes your channel and they come over and subscribe to mine, that doesn't mean they're unsubscribing to your channel. You know what I mean? No. If they like you enough, they're going to watch your stuff. They're not going to unsubscribe to you just because they subscribe to me. You know, I mean, get real. People are so jealous and get so offended over subscribers. You know, like really, dude. If you was good at your job or what you're doing, and you wouldn't worry about that, you would do your thing. And it wouldn't bother you about subscribers. I mean, you wouldn't even worry about them. Right. If you're going to sit and stress out about them and worry about them, then you're not doing something right. You can't sit and think about like that constantly and the algorithms and all that stuff. It'll drive you crazy, dude. I mean, that's a rabbit hole itself. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. If you start getting into the analytics and all that stuff, man, it'll drive you crazy. Because then you try to study and find the patterns of you know, when to drop, how to do this, when to do that, you know, and why ain't this one watching, or why ain't this video taken off, and why is this one, you know, or whatever. It's just, it's hectic, man. You will lose yourself in it. You have to pretty much care, but not care. You know, you kind of have to be like, okay, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to get better at what I do and what I put out, and people will show up. Those people, there's always somebody that watches the certain things that you do, you know.
Yep.
Not everybody just watches racing, you know. There's a lot of people out there that enjoy watching, you know, the stuff that you do. And trust me, they may just not have found your channel yet, but they're there.
Right.
Same with me.
You just got another subscriber, Quest. Just subscribe to you from my other channel. So you got another subscriber. So hopefully we can get you going live here soon.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If you're confident in knowing, you know, in yourself, and you're, you know, it ain't even really about your channel. If you're confident in being able to, you know, talk good, you know, put out content, you know, and have the personality and not be negative and all that, and people will watch your stuff.
Watch my stuff,
or they won't. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm
not begging anybody to watch anything.
No,
you know, they watch it. They don't.
Like I said,
I'm not mad. You know what I mean? Do whatever makes you happy.
There's people that like motorcycle stuff. There's people that don't. You'll find the people that do because they'll watch it. You know, the people that come around. And I'm not saying it's not good to advertise, but it's not good to like sink yourself into that, you know, algorithms and you know, subscribers and likes and worry over, you know, you're worrying over that stuff. That don't do nothing to cause stress. Stress does not
you can go down and
strain on your heart, you know, and stuff like that. So, yeah, you can go far. And when you stress out over it, then you start worrying more about your subscribers and likes and views than you do actually putting out good content or putting out meaningful content, you know, topics that you want to put out. So, and then you're not yourself.
That's for damn sure.
Man, that's the thing. You can do any kind of topic in the world. There's people out there that like those, whatever topic you do. May not be a million people, but there is people that will watch it just to.
Somebody will watch.
And a lot of people watch certain people because they have a certain personality or they act a certain way. You know, they have this, you know, character about them that, you know, they like. They don't give a shit what the video is. They just want to see that character.
Like the personality, yeah.
Yeah, you know. And
if you got a good insight on stuff, like if it's
if you're knowledgeable,
if you're knowledgeable about motorcycles, if you're knowledgeable about certain things, you know.
Or if you're just
some people like aggressive video. Some people like the people that are, you know. I mean, it's just all kinds, man. All
people
kinds.
Some people like people that just sit and cuss and profanity and don't give a crap. No, seriously, like there's people out there that do live streams and stuff, and they just let it out. They don't care, you know. They're just you know. And then there's some people that just really just holds back and just doesn't, and it's completely different. And they're like, oh, they're real, really? What makes them real? Because they cuss. Because they're just saying, oh, I don't care. Anybody can get online and say, I don't care, because they know what's the consequences.
Damn it, I would never cuss. I would never use it.
They're a keyboard, you know. They never leave their rooms, you know. They're in little spaces that are, you know, they wouldn't know how to function in the real world.
So what do you think about the tariffs going into effect today, guys?
What's up, Moto? Well, they said Iran dropped all their tariffs, things against the United States or whatever, something like that.
Really?
Yeah. They said Iran dropped all their tariffs.
So we're supposed to be liberated today, right?
Liberated from what?
From taxes, because we're going to be all of our money's going to come in on tariffs, right?
I don't think those tariffs are for that. I think those
Liberation Day
are to get those other people to stop their tariffs. I think.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't. That's why Iran they dropped theirs. You know, so it's a bluff mechanism. He's calling their bluff and to keep them from ripping us off. And it's true though. If you look at the real statistics, dude, all these countries have been overcharging us. And what's crazy is how does these elected officials have allowed that for years and years, allowed these countries to charge us 200-300% and us only charging them what, 20%, 20, and they're charging us 300% tariff, and we've been paying it. And they wonder why Americans are broke and hungry and poor. I mean, come on, man. There's something to this system that's not right. And Elon Musk said last night, yesterday on the 5, that they found over 400,000 something Social Security numbers that are illegal, that's went corrupt overseas and back to the money to back. Said hopefully we'll have somebody in handcuffs arrest this week or something. Of course I doubt it. I want to see it first before I believe it. But he's saying that.
Speaking of stock market, has anybody checked out Newsmax and see what happened to that? Newsmax.
I watch Newsmax here.
Newsmax went on stock exchange on Monday at $10 a share. It closed yesterday at over $235 a share, meaning $20,000 investment would have returned you $476,000 in 2 days.
Yeah.
What?
Crazy. But who's got 20?
Why am I in the stock market?
Who's got 20K to drop?
Because it's going to settle back down.
Yep. Better sell it quick.
Better sell it quick. Yeah. Get rid of it.
Who's got 20K though? I mean.
Well, a lot of people do, but it's their retirement.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Do they want to gamble their retirement on
Not
a chance? No.
That's
what I mean.
No.
Do you want to take? I mean, I know if somebody's got $3 million, it ain't bad for them to drop. But if somebody's got real money, here I can drop 20K. 20K ain't much to drop an investment.
Coy's in the stock market. You're in the stock market, ain't you, Coy?
Yeah.
I'd love to own some stock, but I just don't have money to buy stock. Like I would enjoy buying certain stock if
and it's sad. It takes money to make money. You gotta have money to make.
That's
money.
what I mean. You gotta have it to.
You gotta have money to make.
You don't have to have a lot. I mean, it depends on what you buy, what stocks you buy. You can buy, $10.
I wish I would have invested in
$5 stocks.
That
I wouldn't know what the stock to buy.
I wouldn't either. Well, I can tell you one thing I would have invested in if I would have had the money, and that's been like 10 years ago or so, like that Bitcoin shit.
Yeah.
I would have invested in that. I would have probably invested in
you could still
energy, oil or energy,
Yeah.
Energy. Pure energy.
Yeah. I would invest in 2 or 3 different things, not much, but 2 or 3 things that was, that I knew that would eventually boom because, the way they've been doing stuff.
I'm waiting for Bitcoin to break out.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, they said if you had bought their shares back then, 10 years ago or whatever, and they were going really cheap, you know what I mean? And now they went for like so much, like 1,000 or something or whatever, and you could have bought back then, like really, really cheap. I don't understand the stock market, so I don't get into it. There's a site that created an app where you can follow Nancy Pelosi and these government people that play the stock, and you follow who they're invested, what stocks that they are invested in.
They know.
They know. Well, yeah. When you're worth $200 million off stock, they know it's easy when you're Speaker of the House and you can allow certain things to come through and certain things not, and you're going to make money. And no, it's my husband's stock. He plays stock market. Really? That fool's a drunk and barely can stand up.
With their inside information. I'm so old. I remember Bitcoin when it was under $1 a share.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you were back then and you bought a bunch of shares,
you're rich.
Money is sitting. Well, yeah, you're worth at least $1 million.
If not more. A lot more.
Yeah. If you bought enough, like if you went in and bought enough shares, then. And that's what I'm saying. What average person wants to gamble their retirement or whatever? Not many.
No.
because you can lose it within 5 seconds of the stock market going down, and
but you got to follow the trends of the stock that you're watching, because stocks will go up and down.
Yeah, and if you're really going to play the stock market, you want to,
there's a pattern where it'll go up, then it'll come back down, then it'll go up.
Yeah,
and you sell at the peak parts, and take your profits at the peak. When it drops again, you buy back in.
Yeah.
If you see the history of that stock, and it, just like Bitcoin, it goes up and down, but it's gradually going up.
Yeah.
Too, at the same time.
So you don't want to sell it until it actually gets to where, But here's the thing, though. I always understood this the way this is. You don't just do one stock. You invest in 3 or 4 different stocks, and you trade stock. You know what I mean? You trade with 3 or 4 different. You're trading stock and
you get about 5 of them. When you follow them, and you know that they, what the trends are when they go up and down, and you sell at the peaks, take your profit, wait till it to drop again, buy back in, and you just keep playing that game over and over again.
Yeah. Well, just like Tesla, Elon Musk, he's the majority shareholder, but he only owns like 22% stock. Like the other people that own the stock own, so they're damaging, they're hurting other people. They're not just hurting him.
Right.
They think they're hurting him.
They're not.
Here's the thing. If you bought stock in that, it went up at one time, booming. And then now, of course, it's down, but
it'll go back
also, it'll go, you wait and see. That's too good of a business for it to just go out,
Buy it now. It's on sale.
And that's what I was watching. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I seen it was on sale, and I'd seen someone saying, well, and they were protesting that one of these said, if we just can make him lose a little bit of money, we'll be satisfied. We'll be satisfied if he'll just lose.
But it ain't going to hurt him
money. So that's what I was like. That's what they were telling him. That's not going to make a dent. That's not going to do nothing to him.
No.
He don't care. He lost a shitload on Twitter buying X. So he doesn't take it as like that. You're not hurting him.
Money's an issue for him.
When you're worth $400 million or $400 billion.
Well, the thing is, you're not hurting just him. You're hurting all the people that have
He
shares.
employs over 80,000 people.
Well, not only the people, but the people that own shares.
Yes. They're hurting their families. Yeah. And not all those people have money.
They don't give 2 shits about those people. They don't care.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of their retirement is
they don't give 2 shits.
Their retirement,
their state's retirement stuff is put in that.
Yep. Tesla, their portfolio is
even what's his name?
These people are paid protesters that go out there and destroy shit because they get money to do it. It's a big fucking. Oh, sorry about my language. It's a big scam, man.
It might be a scam to bring it down so everybody can rush in and buy, at the low. I wouldn't doubt that either.
Yeah, who knows, man?
But why would that do that and then go up and then make people a bunch of money? Why would it?
Because
if you're a regular person buying in stock,
not the regular person, the people that have a lot of money.
Well, true.
They
someone like me ain't buying.
They buy in, and then it goes up, and they make all kinds of money off of it.
Yeah.
Good morning, Salty. Good to see you.
I mean, what's up, bud?
I bet you Salty.
Then you got people that'll bet against it, and that's how they make money. If they're going to bet that it's going to, the stock's going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of strategies that people, it's a one big Ponzi scheme, scam, or whatever.
I never understood
Ponzi, but it's a big game.
Yeah, the stock market, like Wall Street and all that crap. That's a lot of.
You got people betting against the stock, so they want the stock to go down. And so they push certain narratives, and it's a game.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it the 20s when the stock crashed and people were flying? They learned to fly for a few seconds.
They learned to fly. they flew for what, a second or two?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Hey, they know they can bounce too.
Man, that ain't even right, guys.
Well, I mean, they also say 9/11 wasn't airplanes that went into the buildings. They say they were bombs. So that's crazy.
There were planes with bombs.
Yeah. There were interviews of people going, we just heard explosions. There was no planes. There was just, it was.
And then a building that had no planes go into it collapsed too. What's up with that?
Yeah, the building that collapsed, BBC News had reported it already collapsed. And then when they come back over to the lady over here, the building was standing up, and they had announced that building had collapsed. And on air,
whoops,
then it finally collapsed. Like, how did they know it was going to collapse? I mean, that's funny. Yeah, that's weird. But what I'm saying is, it's people. Man, that was an awful day.
All over the place.
Yeah, but they said those people bouncing off they were finding feet and hands. I mean, their bodies was exploding. Dude, I don't think I'd want to burn up either, though, man. I think I'd rather fly for a few seconds. I don't know, man.
Salty says, buy stock in rubber. Tire company, it's going to soar soon when tariffs take effect. The rubber company can.
Well, yeah, we keep sending $50 million to Gaza for rubbers. I mean, better get some.
Yeah, if you got money to play with, now's the time to,
Now's the time to invest.
Yeah. You can make some quick cash if you have the money to play with. Don't play with your retirement.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Those in solid.
I wouldn't do that. If you just had extra money to drop like $10K or something,
yeah,
into a couple of stocks or something like that, where you can make a good, I don't know, 60 to 100K off of it. That'd be nice.
That's too
Talk to your financial advisor.
Yeah, who is that?
It isn't me.
I don't have a financial advisor. I'm not financially. I'm not responsible.
You're not responsible.
Irresponsible financially. No.
I wonder why people don't jump out of windows anymore when the stock market goes like that.
I'm telling you, man, because it's scams. They know they're going to bounce back, or they're going to.
It's a big scam. That's what it is. It's a game.
I mean, seriously, like, I don't get it, because they get up there and they get it. Have you ever seen? I'm sure y'all have. Man, they go at it in that place up there, like selling and doing all that stuff they do, and it's like, I'm glad it's up to them to determine if I'm broke, the next day on my stock or not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how well food products would be to invest in. Like.
Yeah. Food products, Coke, Pepsi, those
like orange juice, meat, like pork and stuff. You invest in all that stuff.
Yeah, because it's a necessity everybody has to have.
It's a commodity, right? They consider those as commodities or something.
Yeah.
The stock, I mean, it's considered commodities, or something like that.
Commodities.
Yep.
So, I mean, what's really bad right now that you could invest in, meat, cows. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what would be a good food or drink product, because the way, RFK is doing, they're taking out all the dyes, they're taking out all this stuff and things like that. So it's going to be, you'd have to really keep an eye on that kind of stuff to really know which one to put money into.
Go eat. Go eat.
I don't know. That's a tricky, I wouldn't do anything I wouldn't invest a lot in anything that was like food dyes in, like drinks and stuff. It would have to be more like meat stuff, in my opinion. I would feel like, I mean, you can't invest in chickens or eggs because they're down. I mean,
I just saved thousands on not buying a new Harley and investing into a chopper. I don't need a broker. I'm already broke. Yeah, man.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know, peoples. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's the rich and there's the not so rich, and then there's the poor. And that's the way they set it up years ago. You got your rich.
You just got to mimic the rich.
They get richer and the poor get poorer. Seems like.
Don't buy Harley stock.
I never understood why they said a middle class, because I don't see middle class. I see people in debt. I don't see middle class citizens. I see people that are in debt.
Yeah. people that are in debt with these big homes and big cars.
Homes and cars. They all owe shit. They owe money.
Credit card debt. Yeah, you're broke. You really don't have.
If they lose their job, they lose everything.
Everything gone.
I think they just try to live above their means, and I get it, man. They want a nice home, they want nice new cars, and all this, and then it's like,
but they push that. They push that. They push you to buy new cars.
That's the dream.
You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to buy all that stuff.
Then they lock you in as a slave that way.
Yep. That's the American dream. Come over and go in debt for a house and a car.
I remember years ago, when I first started working in tool and die and stamping, and I bought my first house. And my boss comes up to me and says, "Now I've got you for 30 years." I'll never forget that.
And they know it. They know it's true, though. They know that it's.
Let me guess. That was that Cornbrock Tool and Die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Jim Cornbrock. Came up to me. Now I got you for 30 years.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. Oh, Jesus. I looked down and said, I can go anywhere and work, buddy. I don't need to stay here. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's a mortgage. What's mortgage? Mortgage. You pay it till you die.
You pay it till you die. Mortgage.
It sends you into the morgue.
Did you guys know the Dukes of Hazzard people reunite?
Taking 8 to 10 bikes across the country is going to be an adventure source. Hell yeah, Salty. Easy Living says, Coy, you're right. We used to hear that all the time where I worked. Whenever we would buy a new vehicle or a house or anything really expensive, our bosses would say the same thing, but we own you now. We own you now because you have to pay for it. We can treat you like shit. We can say whatever we want to say.
Yeah.
Do whatever we want to do because you got to come to work every day because you got to pay for that house and you got to pay for that damn car. And I worked with you at Cornbrock Tool and Die, and they did treat us like shit, and they didn't give 2 shits because they knew we were in debt and we had to pay for it.
Exactly.
We had to.
You got a family, you got debt. They know they can push you to the edge because you have to
think before you walk out that door, because you'll lose everything.
It's American dream, man. Start a family and go to softball games every night.
The problem is they don't teach the kids in school how to be entrepreneurs. They don't teach you how to.
They don't teach you how to be financially stable.
No, they don't. They don't teach you how to, make money. They don't teach you how to stay out of debt.
Exactly. They don't teach you. Yeah, they don't teach
you. Be a good little slave. Go to work, get in debt, and be a good little slave.
Be a good little slave.
They don't teach you how to, increase your wealth and, how to make
because you would think they would want more businesses creates more jobs, more people are financially stable. Yeah, you think they would teach people how to have their own business and small businesses.
Show you the tricks of the trade.
Trade schools are like dying out. Trade schools are so. You do a trade school and become a plumber, welder. You can open your own business.
Yeah. You can work on the side.
Yeah, you can have your own company by yourself. I don't know if they want that though. They don't want people in charge, in control of their own future. No. They want the government to they want everybody on the government living, and it's all corruption. I don't believe anybody. It's hard for me to trust.
It's all corruption. I believe no one.
Authorities and not just authorities, like even your local people, like who knows, they don't tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It seems like they always have an agenda for themselves, and I understand you have to make your own living, you have to make your own way, but to lie to your community or corruption in your community behind people's backs and do things and be corrupt and shit. Because I'm not saying everybody's corrupt, but there's one way or another. People are doing it because they're getting put in a position of power or they're after money.
Ray, are you going to the Tennessee Jam Sons of Speed on the 24th of May?
That is at the track. Let's see. I think that's the red dirt track we have in Tennessee. I think they said that's one of the last tracks, the real dirt flat tracks left. I've been there once. I don't know if I will or not, man, to tell you the truth. I'll look more into it, Salty.
I feel a little bit down today. Can't go ride. Can't go out. You can't really do that.
It's misery when it's misery out.
40. When the winds are going to be blowing at 40 mile an hour.
Well, you don't want to take that chance of being gushed off the road,
Yeah, I want to go ride. Those are too heavy winds, man. I don't want to ride in that wind.
It just doesn't make it fun. Go ride in Colorado, man. It's like riding sideways. The winds are so bad anyways. Like it's true. Like seriously, like you will if you rode through Colorado, you would hate it, dude. And it's just
I hate the wind.
It's like riding sideways and you're fighting it like the whole time because the wind is so bad there and strong. It's awful, man. Yes, it's miserable. I mean, it's misery, dude.
Yeah, I know people probably think I'm crazy. Like, I don't like wind because you're on a motorcycle, you're in the wind. But I mean, I don't like the wind blowing. I like it.
Oh no, I guarantee you. Anybody in the side chat, anybody listening that rides motorcycles, they know exactly. And that's why I never understood when they made that Fat Boy. The year they made the Fat Boy, the rims were solid. Do you remember that?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and like the wind would blow. My brother had one, and the winds would blow, and it would completely move his bike because his rims were like a solid rim. It wasn't. And he finally changed the wheels, the wheels and the rims or whatever you call them. I call them wheels, but he finally got another set. It was used to on older Sportsters too. I believe they had a solid back rim. If I'm
That's
not mistaken.
Good when the wind blows.
No.
You were at. Quick Shoe says kids at daycare got all day to pack up the bike for the ride door tomorrow. Oh, he's heading out tomorrow, man.
He's gonna miss those grandkids, ain't he? Because it seems like he's been like really taking care of them the whole time he's been there.
Yeah, he's been enjoying that.
I don't blame him though. You live far away and you get to see them. You better make the best of it.
Yeah. Is those wildfires still burning down South Carolina?
I don't know. Are they really? Are they still burning?
I don't know.
I know.
I didn't know if they were seen to. Or seems weird, don't it? We had a bunch of storms blew around, created havoc. Then now we got fires that's been developing in 3 different states now.
Crazy.
I mean, I'd like to know who's starting these fires.
I like to know who's controlling the weather.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know it's the seed planting. They're planting those seeds in the clouds or creating a weather machine. I think they're creating clouds. Yeah, there's all kinds of theories. Who knows what they put in there? I mean, truthfully, like even with the food, like the farmers, man, the pest control people that fly the pest control planes and whatever you call those, I call them pest control. And they drop those chemicals on the plants. That ain't just going in the plants, in my opinion. It's in the air, Like, how does anyone even live around that stuff out there with all that stuff that they spray on, over the sky there for the plants? I mean, I don't get it. What's up, Thomas? I just think that our bodies over the time, that's why we have cancers and different types and different things, because it ain't just the food. The food's bad, but it's the chemicals that's in our air, that they've tested on us. And I believe they did it just to experiment,
Cedric said we're the pest that they are controlling.
Yeah, American Uncensored, you're really correct. because
we are the pest they are controlling.
And what's crazy is it seems like even the police think that, oh, we can pull you over for anything. We can demand ID and we can do this. And we can come up with our own laws as we say, oh, this is our policy. I don't care what your policy in your police officer station says. Your policy doesn't trump, but your policy does not trump my constitutional rights. You swore an oath to protect my constitutional rights for me. So why are you trying to violate them? And when they pull your ass over, it's like you have no leg to stand on unless you know every right you really have. And you may go to jail, but you can fight it. You can file a complaint stuff. But the thing is, always record. Dude, that's your First and Fourth Amendment rights. You're allowed to record your First Amendment.
Try to get you to stop it.
They try to make you stop it. They try to scare you.
Yeah, they try to say, "Oh, you're not allowed to do that and post it." I'm not posting. Yeah, it's recording.
They're recording you. They're recording you.
Well, some of them
don't. Record your ass.
Well, theirs is when they're stopped, theirs automatically goes to a server, loads to a server, so they have no control after that. Now they can turn it off or mute it during their talk and conversation with you and stuff, but once they stop it, it actually goes to a server, automatic downloads to a server in a system where if you go fight it and say you want to request that video, then, you can pull it up.
They disappear it until they erase it.
Never let anybody step on your rights, man, because there are policies that they come, they'll make any excuse and try to justify it, You're in hindering an investigation. Well, you don't know. You haven't seen or suspect me of a particular crime. You cannot prove that. You can't just demand ID if you're not a stop and ID state. They can't just stop you and demand an ID and then they threaten you. Well, you're going to go to jail. It's against the law if you don't identify yourself. No, it's not.
Where's your papers? Where's your papers?
Yeah, that's what they say. They'll say it's against the law if you don't identify yourself. It's not. If you're not in an ID state, stop an ID. So I'm telling you, man,
I'm not going to fight with them.
You may go to jail for a few hours, but they're not going to do anything serious. You can file a complaint, and trust me, especially if they handcuff you or anything like that. They're false and imprisonment.
Well,
you can get them with a lot of shit, dude. Just do what I said. Go buy you a pamphlet, the Constitution and your rights. Carry that in your back pocket.
I got talked over. I've been pulled over in years, but when they do, what really pisses me off is they ask you where you been, where you're going.
Yeah, where you been? Where you coming from?
It's none of your business.
I just came from your sisters. Why are you wanting to know? I mean, you need me to get a message?
The thing is, you don't have to answer any of that.
No, you don't. You just sit there and say, I don't answer questions. That's your Fifth Amendment right, dude. Yeah, that's your Fifth Amendment. You don't have to answer nothing.
What do you need to know where I came from?
We're just trying to know who you are. So we know, you ain't doing nothing wrong or once. No, you're not. You're trying to build a rapport with me. Yeah. So you think I'll let my guard down so you can violate my rights is what they're trying to do. That's what they do.
So you'll forfeit information.
Yes. And then they can hold it against you and never let them search your car.
Never answer any questions.
Nope, never.
If you're pulling me over and you're going to citate me for something,
I don't care if they say, "Hey, where do you go fishing?" If they see a fishing pole on you and say, "Hey, where do you go fishing?" Don't answer them. Don't tell them because they're just trying to get you to break. Yes, they're trying to break bread so they can. I'm telling you, they will try to be your friend just to turn it around against you. They're not your friend. They're trying to build a case against you, no matter if they pull you over for speeding or whatever. Especially if you're not breaking the law, man. I think it's crazy, dude. Everybody should be defending their rights.
Roger Monroe says ARS Title 13103 in Arizona color of law statute abolishing common law offenses and affirmative defenses. In all 50 states, the Fed have such toilet paper legislation written. Huh. Yeah. All I know is I was on the highway coming up 75, coming back from down in Kentucky, down in Harlan, And I got pulled over. I was speeding. It is what it is. It happens. And he kept asking.
I'm sorry. Salty's comment.
And he kept asking me stupid questions. Like, he looked in the back of my truck. He says, I see fishing poles. Were you fishing? I was like, what? Where are you? And I told him where I was. I said, I was seeing family down in Kentucky. He goes, who goes down there to fish? And who goes? I'm like, why are you fucking asking me? Sorry. Why are you asking me all these questions, man? It's none of your business where I was, what I was doing. Just give me the damn ticket and roll on. And I told him that. I said to him, I said, look, just give me the ticket and roll on, dude.
Dude, you don't even have to give them your ID. You just, in certain states, it just says present or show. You know what I mean? If you just slap your license and your insurance against your window and crack your window, they cannot arrest you for that. And look up your state laws, people. I'm telling you, damn it, know your rights. Especially if it just says you just have to present or show. That doesn't mean you have to give them your ID. You can refuse that. Trust me. And I've never understood that. Where are you going? Why are you going there? Where are you coming from? Where are you doing? Well, I'm an American. If I want to get in my car, people don't usually get out at 12 o'clock at night. So what? I'm a grown man. If I want to get out and go to the store, or I want to ride to the boonies and back, I will. If I want to go on a peaceful walk, this is America. I want to drive around all night, exactly.
Sorry about my
No, it's true. Like, you can't. That's what we should do on the rabbit hole one night too.
This is not
like law enforcement shit. Like, why is our rights being? Stand up for your constitutional rights or some shit.
Yeah,
because man, that's a deep subject, dude. There's so much corruption.
Oh yeah, I was pulled over early in the morning when I was going to work. I went through a red or.
Well, they probably thought you was John.
I didn't go through a red light. It was yellow. It was yellow like a yellowish red, or what you want to call it. It was just turning. So cop pulls me over. First thing he asked me, "Where are you coming from? And where are you headed to?"
None of your fucking business.
I was like,
none of your business.
What is that? Where are you coming from and where are you headed to? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
You pulled me over for going through a
yellow light.
It's not. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It was just turning red. Yeah. So it was a pink light.
No, well, that's where a street light camera should be giving you a ticket, not a cop.
And asked me if I'm, where am I going? Where am I coming from, and where am I going to? It's like, what does it fucking? Excuse me. What does it matter? It does. What does it matter if you tell me what you pulled me over for?
Yeah, they don't want to tell you because they're trying to think of something they can get you with. They won't
tell you. They'll say, "No, you know what I pulled you over for, don't you?"
Yeah, they want you to tell them.
You're a crime.
Yeah.
No, you say, I ran a red light. So now you admitted it. You're done.
Yeah.
Do you know how fast you go? Do you know you were speeding? As soon as you say, yeah, they got you. And that's what they do. They say, do you know you were speeding? If you say, yeah, they got you right there because they cannot prove it on their radar. They don't have a thing to prove. They may have a radar, but they don't prove it. If you ever watch any videos, they never show anybody the proof of speeding. How do you know I was speeding? Well, I had to do 65 to keep up with. That don't mean I was speeding. That means I was doing the speed limit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I said, yeah, because I got way ahead of you. That's why you had to do 65 to catch up with me, you dumbass. Not stupid.
I've had one seatbelt ticket in my life. I've never been ticketed. I've never had nothing against my license. And
he did all that morning and just let me go. So
what an asshole, man.
Yeah, they are, man. They're on a power trip. And they think what's bad is they learn from other officers, and when they get around 3 or 4 officers, they become like ego crazy. Yeah. Like
I did have a sheriff pull me over. He come up, and I was speeding. He came up. I was like, "Damn!" Because I was trying to get home real quick. And he came up. I pulled over to a field, little country roads field. He come up behind me, pulled me over. Come up to the window, goes. And he didn't ask me no crazy questions. He goes, you were speeding. It's 45 to do here. I said, well, I didn't say, yeah, I did. I didn't say anything. He goes, took my license, went back to the car, came back. He goes, John? I go, yeah. He goes, man, you ain't had a ticket in over 20-something years. I said, no, sir, I have not. He goes, then you're not getting one today. Slow down. Have a great day.
That's good. Well, not all of them are dicks,
Yeah.
Some of them.
But the very next morning, it happened to me, Coy. The very next morning in Harrison, Ohio, I was leaving the house, going to work. I came around there where Frisch's is, you know what I'm talking about? And that light there that goes on to Harrison. Yeah. I just made the yellow light. And that I said, well, maybe he'll give me a break too. That son of a bitch gave me a ticket.
Oh yeah, Harrison cops. Yeah, they are.
That's crazy.
They're like what you're saying, right? They got an attitude problem.
They do, man. Their ego, and they shouldn't even be doing the job if they do it by their emotions and feelings. They get their feelings.
I'll tell you about Harrison cops. Mike and I were cruising around down in Harrison. We were coming from somewhere. I think we went to eat or something like that. We were at a stop sign. We stopped and we took off. And he usually sits there a lot. I don't know why. It's, not a whole lot of, there's really not a whole lot going on there, but whatever. Right. So he's sitting there, make sure everybody's stopping at that stop sign. And we stopped, we took off. He comes behind us, pulls us over. This guy was the biggest jerk you could ever. He goes, why you pull over? No, we didn't do anything. Well, your tags. I'm like, what do you mean? I said, we just got those tags. They're, He goes, no, they're on the wrong car. I said, what do you mean? Because it's titled to a van. I said, there's no way. I said, we went to the license bureau and this is what they gave us.
I love the way they know what you did.
The thing was, the license bureau screwed up. Yeah. They gave us the wrong sticker for that car. They gave us for a van we used to have. And the cop was going to tow our car like we were criminals.
Yeah.
That's like we were criminals, like we stole that car or something.
Why do
and
they
here we are, a bunch of old people.
They automatically think
like we're going around stealing a car, and he threatened to impound our car and all that. And I was like, dude,
they got so bad. They got so bad crazy. Using the marijuana smell. Oh, I smell marijuana or alcohol. No, you don't. No, you don't, because I don't smoke marijuana. You know what I mean? I know you don't. I don't have marijuana in my vehicle. I don't smoke it. They got so used to doing that, making that excuse to get you out of the vehicle and searching your vehicle. They lie so much. They actually, Supreme Court judge said that is no longer a legit thing for them to be able to do and say, because they are allowed to manipulate certain things and lies to get you to confess and say things. That shouldn't be allowed to manipulate somebody.
You know why they do that? It's because they cannot. If they ask you, "Can I search your car?" You can say no, and they can't unless they get a warrant or not warrant. Yeah. What do they call it?
They could do
search warrant.
You have
to have a probable cause or be suspicion of committing a crime.
They can't search your car unless they suspect, like they walk up and they say, "I smell something" or "I smell alcohol." Now they can search your car. Yeah. So they could use that and say, "Oh, I smell marijuana in there." Now they can search your car. Yeah. So they use that as a tool to bypass getting a warrant to search your car. Have to sit there and wait for a judge and all that.
Ain't that some bullshit? Ain't that some bullshit?
They use that.
But that's why it's went through court system.
Access to get in your car.
I smell marijuana. I
smell marijuana.
They do it to everybody. You just smoke marijuana. I smell marijuana. Well, you smell it on your breath, then, buddy, because I'm not smoking it. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Now they got you. They can.
Well, I know I don't drink and I don't smoke, so I don't smoke marijuana. I don't drink alcohol. And when they say that shit, it's like, buddy, I think I know myself. You know what I mean? But it's like, they want us to believe them every word they say because why? They wear a badge? They're corrupt. But then they don't want to believe us. They want to treat us like criminals and say, "Oh, I don't believe you." When's the last time you smoked? Be honest. Come on, be a man. Be honest. Tell me when's the last time you smoked. That's where they want to try to get you to catch yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like a month ago. See, automatically, you've been smoking tonight. Motherfucker, I ain't smoked since I was 15, 16.
Treat you like a criminal when they pull you over? Why can't they treat you with respect?
Because the ego, dude. The ego is so freaking important to them. It's so important to them to be the big dog and to be in charge. I've asked cops. I've got a guy that, the elementary school cop guy, man, like he rides Harleys. And I've asked him before up there at school, picking my kid up when she was in elementary school. I was like, can you tell me, honest to God, when you go, because he's a real police, he ain't a security guard, he's a real police officer. I said, when you went through the academy and you graduated, when they handed you that bag, when did they tell you, hey, this makes you authority and above everybody? You can tell people what to do, when to do it, how to do it. He said they didn't. I said, exactly. So why do other cops act? Because I know he doesn't act like that, but I went to school with his brother. They're just not like that. I said, why do other cops act like that badge gives them the right to treat people like shit and to pretty much be like, I'm your dad. You're going to listen to me and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do and all that. Because they take an oath, man, to protect the constitutional rights of people, and to serve. They don't even, half of them don't even know the law themselves. That's the sad part.
I was in a back seat drinking a Labatt's. The girl driving had nothing.
And it's not against the law in Florida either.
And he said we got a problem. And then Uncensored said, hell, they tore my whole car apart one day and kept asking me where the drugs were. I said, keep looking. Nothing was there, and I had to put the car back together myself. Yeah, they'll tear your shit apart.
I never tell them to look. I never give them permission because there's cops that plant shit. And, man, I'm telling you, I watched one video where one cop had over 60, 70 cases against where he framed innocent people and sent a couple of them to jail saying, oh, he had his own little baggie that tested and it didn't even test positive. One, it showed on his own body camera, it tested negative, and he still took the woman to jail and said it tested positive. And they finally did an investigation, fired, and had to release and said, this cop has ruined like 30 something people's lives where they had went to jail and got criminal records and all kinds of shit. I mean, bad.
Salty says about tearing your car apart. They can tear your car apart.
They can do. Yep. They can do whatever they want.
If they don't find nothing, they should be legally liable,
responsible for that,
exactly the way it was.
Yep.
And that would put a stop to all these cops going in and just tearing people's shit up.
Well, you know what's going to put a stop.
Wait a minute. You smell marijuana? Thank God. All I smell is that cocaine from earlier, officer.
What will stop it is more people stand up for their rights, man.
Yeah.
And actually stand up, go to jail for 5 minutes or an hour, and then because they have no real charge. They'll release you within a couple of hours. Trust me, a lot of people are too scared to go to jail. I'm telling you, I'm not. I'll stand up, go buy you a copy of the damn, $1.50 for your constitutional rights. Man, I'm telling you, carry it in your back pocket. You stand on your ground. Tell them you don't answer questions. You don't have to ID them. And especially in Florida, their states now also passed a law saying they're not allowed to ID. It's not against the law not to give your license. Like if I'm a passenger in your side seat or back seat, I do not have to identify myself. I do not have to give them ID because it's against the law for them to even ask for my ID. They can ask, but I can refuse, and it's not against the law to do that. So
I was riding with my first wife one time when we were driving along. We went over some railroad tracks, and as we were going over the railroad tracks, the started doing like a train's coming, but we were already on the railroad tracks. So we went on through the railroad tracks, and here come a cop. And this was in Elmwood, Corey. You know how they are down there too. He come behind us, pulled her over, and said the same shit. You know why I pulled you over? And I said,
"Where'd you come from? Where'd you go?"
Yeah, and I said,
"Where'd you come from?"
I was in the passenger seat, and I was like, and he said something about you were on the tracks. You went through the tracks when the things were down. She's like, "No, I was on the tracks, and then they started, coming down, and or started going off." And I said to him, yeah, we were already on the tracks. He looked over at me and said, you need to shut your mouth. I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to her. So you keep your mouth shut. That's what he said to me. I said, excuse me? I said, you ain't got no right to talk to me that way.
And you ain't got no right to talk to my wife like that.
He was going to arrest me because I was talking in my
hurt his feelings.
Car.
Yeah, you stopped his big power trip. That's the thing, man. They hate that because they act like whatever rules they make up, they're your dad. They're your authority.
You should have told him, go ahead and arrest me because I'm going to sue you and I'm going to own everything.
Yeah, and when you jerk me out of this car, I'm telling you, everybody should have a dash cam or some kind of camera going at all times.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I do? I tell them I'm like, hey, seriously, like when I got pulled over and got a seatbelt ticket, When he come up, I said, just so you know, I've got 4 cameras going in this car. Then they start thinking, oh shit, I better behave. You know what I mean? I didn't have any cameras going. You know what I mean? I was telling them, hey, I got 4 cameras going. You know, you're being recorded.
Right.
Even if you just tell them they're being recorded, some of them will, you know, they lock up and think, okay, I better not do anything wrong. You know, it kind of stops them for a second. And they're like, well, and some assholes are like, well, no, I got camera going too, buddy. I got camera going too. And I'm like, yeah, but you think you can get away with violating my fucking rights. You know what I mean? And you think I'm not going to get access to that camera, but I can. That's the thing. You can go and file and get access. Yeah. Yes, you can get access to that camera, to the footage they carry. I'm telling you, dude. I don't know every law. I don't know all the laws, but I know that I have rights, and they're not allowed to break them. Now, do they? Yeah, I'm sure they do. They do it all the time. I see it all the time. They step all over people's constitutional rights. Well, they swore to protect, you know, and man, go online, look up, man, there's so many good channels that has like millions of subscribers, and I mean videos that shows corrupt cops like getting arrested by good cops, or good cops stopping these corrupt cops saying, hey, wait, no, he has his right, you can't do that to him, you know. And there, you would not believe how many, you know, pathetic people, police officers there really is out there. I mean, on a daily basis. Yes, there is. Because, and you know, it's not against the law to cuss a cop, give them the bird, or say profanity in public. You know, that's free speech. And it's been proven through court, Supreme Court. It's not against the law to cuss. And you can call him anything you want. It's determined on him if it hurts his feelings. He has the right to ignore you and go on. He doesn't have to engage with you if you say, hey, you're a piece of crap, you know what I mean? Or you're, you know, whatever. It's been proven through Supreme Court. It's not the law to say anything. You can call them a dickhead or whatever. And they, you know, some of them take it serious because they get their feelings hurt. And then they want to arrest you. Oh, you're disorderly. No, you actually have to read the law on disorderly. I'm telling you, it's not. They try to justify that and make that an excuse to arrest you because they get their feelings hurt. You know, disorderly is or in hindering also disorderly conduct is a completely different thing, you know. Like when they say, oh, wait, you know, you're on a public sidewalk, but you can't come this close to me because you're hindering my investigation. No, you're not. You can walk right past them. You can go right up to them as long as, and what that law means, as long as, like, say, if he dropped the license and I stepped on that license to keep him from picking it up, or a pen or something from writing or something, you know, I was doing something, that's in hindering an investigation or his work. You know what I mean? But you can walk right through in a public space. That's one thing. Don't be fooled, man. I'm telling you, government facilities and all that is open to the public. They can't kick you off of them.
Brown Chicken says cops are kids in high school that get bullied or outcast looking for revenge.
They are, especially in these small towns. It's awful, dude, because they are dicks, man. They are true. And like I said, I try not to break any traffic laws. I've had a seatbelt ticket. Crazy. I've been driving since I was 14. I've had my license since I was 16. I've had one seatbelt ticket. I'm 44. Now, have I sped in the past and stuff like that? Well, yeah, not much, not crazy, but not to do nothing reckless, stupid. But I've never had anything against my license. I've got my motorcycle license, my regular license. So, I mean, knock on wood, I still have good license, and I try to, because I always think about everybody else. Like, my kids are
Brown
on the road.
Chicken says you need.
I wouldn't want to hurt somebody else's kids.
Ray. Brown Chicken says you need to do an audit channel.
No, I've already got 3 channels. That would be something, but I'm telling you, dude, it would be. Yeah, I can't go out there and stand in there and deal with the police, audit those people like that. And deal with them all day. God, that'd drive me crazy. I have to listen to some of their stupidity. Yeah. I mean, that would be like trolling them, you know, going out there and doing that, and that's what they're called.
No, Robert, I get it. I respect the law. Robert, I respect the law.
Yeah, I do too, man. To the real law.
I'm just talking about police officers that take and make their own laws up.
And
try to push shit on you that's not real,
And then they get on the ego trips and shit that are ridiculous.
There's a lot of them out there that do that.
Dude, if you watch any kind of videos that I've watched on the police doing that, they're sickening, man. It'll make you sick how some of them treat people, man. Like awful. Like really. Like sickening. Yeah. Trust me, I know how even security guards.
Well, back not too long ago,
prison guards, they did the same thing.
When Biden was in office, the ATF was going to people's house and knocking on their doors and trying to get you to give up your guns.
Yeah,
it was like, what the hell, man?
Well, look up the channel. Here's the deal. That's a good one. He's got 304,000 subscribers. Look up. Let's see. What's this other one? Let me see.
Some of them audit channels look stupid when they do it. I watched Tyrant Terminator or
I
can't say that word. Press.
Other one. Let me see if I can find that other one.
Stop breaking the law, asshole.
But seriously, like if you're not breaking the law, you know your rights.
Breaking the law.
Well, just look what they did to Trump.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I don't think they don't abuse their power. And
lawfare is crazy. Yeah,
they commit. All these. They break all the rules.
Yeah, I don't have no faith in the judicial system at all. I have no faith in it.
They commit crimes just by trying to take that guy out. They committed all kinds of crimes.
I don't have faith in them after what they did to me over first time offense and ever been in trouble in my life. Why would I need to go to prison? Why would I need 10 years supervised probation if I didn't choose prison? You know what I mean? So I chose prison. So I chose 3 years instead of 10 on paper because I knew what they were going to do on paper. They were going to try to hem me up. Sorry, that's the trouble. But they were going to try to hem me up and then me have to serve 10 years in prison. For what? First time I've ever done anything in my life wrong, and I don't even think I did wrong.
Right.
I wasn't doing anything really bad.
Lawfare is for a banana republic and the communist countries, not the United States. Yeah. You can't use
lawfare. It is in the United States.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you can't use that against the president and try to take him down. I mean, that's crazy shit.
Well, just like right now, why does it give one judge? Why do they think this one judge has the right to stop all this bullcrap? To stop the deportation. He's not over the commander in chief.
Step in and tell him to go fuck himself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, dude,
he has no authority.
No, not like that.
Not over the president.
That's what I'm talking about. They're abusing their power and they're actually committing crimes themselves. And it's like, what? Wait a minute here. You're not following the rule of law. You are not following the rule of law.
Yeah. He is the commander in chief of this country. We chose him. The voters chose him. They chose him to run this country the way he sees fit, the way we see him telling us he's going to. So, and what did he run on? Shutting the border down, sending the illegals home, stopping fentanyl, stopping all this corruption and all this stuff.
Right.
I know what I voted for.
He's not breaking the law, though. He's doing what he has a right to do.
Exactly. And that's one thing about Trump. He's like, well, we'll let it take its process. He believes in the law. He believes in real law, good law. I mean, look at all these corrupt cases he's fought and actually won all these cases. Why? Because they were corrupt. He was not doing anything corrupt.
Cases. The average person don't have the money to
exactly.
Lawyers. He has the money to win those cases. You don't have the money. They will bankrupt you. They will keep taking you to court till you're bankrupt, and then you'll tap out and say, give me whatever. I'm done.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He has the money to hire a lawyer that's got a team of 6 people to investigate and do all the work and do all that. We don't.
If they wanted you, they'll come get you, and there's not a thing you can do about it. They can tie you up.
And that's why the American people's got comfortable and they won't stand up against tyranny and these people. There's not enough. Salty says, I have a federal LEO in my family. We got harassed at a funeral a few years back. by local law enforcement. The look on their face when he waited for them to search illegally before the badge was found. Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, hey, you see how see how they act when they don't know that you're law enforcement. Hopefully you're not out doing the same thing. And I'm not saying he assaulted. I'm just saying, it's good to get from their point of view, their eyes, and let it be done to them. And then they say, okay, wait a minute, this ain't right. Why do cops do this to regular citizens? You know what I mean? So that tells me if they're going to do it to me and they don't know I'm a cop, which that means they're going to do it to anybody anyways, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of, they've got away with so much stuff over the years of just craziness. And
well, that's true, Robert. If every cop was perfect, people would still bitch. Yeah, there's good cops out there.
Robert, we're not saying we don't believe in law enforcement. We're saying that we believe in the right law enforcement.
I respect law enforcement that respects me. I understand they have a tough job. I understand that they can be killed at any time. I understand when they pull people over, they don't know who they're really pulling over. They don't know what's just that person's just strutting there or nuts or whatever. I get all that. But also I've noticed that when a cop respects me and shows respect toward me, I show respect toward him. So it has to be both ways. You can't just pull me over and be aggressive right out the door. That's not good.
No, because I was raised to respect people. And the first thing it comes natural for me to say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. That's just something that was instilled in me. But as soon as I'd say that, yes, sir, and they don't show me that same respect, then I lose respect for people like that. They ain't going to show me respect especially after I show them respect first. And I'm not an asshole. I'm not the one sitting there just, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. But I'm not going to give up my identity and just tell them everything I'm doing. No, man, that ain't their business. You have rights. And then, like I said, I respect law enforcement. I get it. But why are they more scared of a guy with a cell phone camera in his hand than a guy with a gun? Like, I've seen them where they'll put their hands on their guns because a dude's filming, like, what? Are you that scared? Are you scared of that camera? You know why? They are, because it's telling the truth. They can't corrupt your camera.
A lot of cops don't get good training too.
Nope.
They don't get good training at all. And two, you can complain about a cop too. You get his name and his badge number and you call in a complaint. Yep. And after so many complaints, they're supposed to get rid of them. Whether they do or not, who knows?
Unless it's bad enough to actually do an investigation. And, if they do something bad enough, because then it goes to, if you go and file a complaint and if the DA or whatever sees it as bad enough or a bad enough complaint or whatever, they can choose to investigate or not. And then,
to talk about, they don't act like that in the ghetto. Why is it they won't go in there? They tend to stay away from those places.
Well, the first rule I've always
that actually respect the law. They'll treat you like shit, but they'll go down there and they're all like, oh.
Yeah. Like, well, the first thing
go where the crime is. Clean that up.
Yeah. The first thing
I've always clean that up. Why is it the ghetto? Why ain't you cleaning it up?
Yeah.
Why don't you have
it shouldn't be the ghetto. It should be a decent neighborhood. It should be,
Thomas Bailey
people should be able to go through there.
That's just like Junkie George Floyd wouldn't get into the back seat of the police car for over 30 minutes. I never had a cop take 30 minutes to put me in the back seat.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a crazy situation also. But here's the number one thing I've heard that their training is supposed to be. The number one training thing they're told is always de-escalate the situation. Never escalate it. And it seems like as soon as they get out of the car, they're escalating it, by asking you personal questions and this and that, and accusing you of smelling marijuana and this and that. Of course, that's going to escalate somebody that doesn't do that. That doesn't do drugs and doesn't. By God, I know what I got on me. I know what's in my vehicle. I know what's, you know what I mean? I know what I do and what I don't do. So their number one thing is to de-escalate.
And I'm sure there's a lot more good cops than there are bad cops, but there are bad cops.
Dude. They're all over.
I've come across some, like I said, that were awesome. Like that guy, that sheriff that pulled me over. He was like, "John, you're not getting a ticket today, brother. See you later." It's like there's good ones out there, but also there's bad ones out there. But that's in everything, Just like I believe there might be one or two senators or congressmen that are good, maybe one or two.
Yeah, but anyway. That's a far fetched there. One or two, it might be.
Well, I believe people that really want to do good, but they're stuck in a party or a system.
They're stuck in a system.
Yeah, they'll get canceled. They'll get weeded
out. Yeah, they're stuck in a system that's against them, and they know they'll lose their career and their job. And but why even run and go up there and do that if say you run and you become that and you're stuck in a position where you can't really do good? Why would you continue running? Or do you just turn corrupt and then make money and stay to hell with the public and, you're out for yourself? Because that's what most of them seem like, they're out for themselves,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I never understood greed, man. That you can't take it with you. You know what I mean? It's not going with you.
I think they think they can.
That or just like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. And what's his name? Even the Republican dude, the old dude, they think they're going to live forever and stay up there and run in power forever. Like it's that power trip, It's
that power. Gotta have the power. Gotta have the
Trump is hosting Liberation Day or something. The White House live. Trump to reveal plan to protect future generations. Okay.
But wait a minute. Let me say something about that real quick before we go on to anything else. I love everything Trump's doing. Trump's doing a lot of good stuff. But if we don't create laws and legislation, none of this shit matters. None of it matters. It's only going to matter for 4 years, and then it's all going to fucking disappear. So unless they create legislation and pass laws and sign it into law, none of these executive orders, none of this stuff is going to matter. Especially if a Democrat gets back in there, it's all going to go right back the same way it all was.
What the thing is the hope is that everything straightens out and the economy goes really well and everybody's doing good, then they won't vote a Democrat in.
Yeah, they're hoping they won't get it.
They'll stay on course.
Well, he better start working on the important things then.
Better start working on that economy because I'm telling you right now, gas just shot up to $3.30 a gallon.
I know. And prices keep going up.
Ours went up 6 cents.
He said he was going to bring that shit down immediately, and he hasn't. And I get that he couldn't do it immediately, but people, when they hear that, when you tell them you're going to bring the shit down immediately, and you don't, they're expecting start running. Yeah.
I think ours went up 6 cents. It's $2.68 now. It was $2.61 or something like that. Now it's $2.68 or $2.60. Yeah, something like that. I ain't checked today, but yesterday it was $2.68. It went up from $2.61 to $2. So it went up 7 cents.
Like I said last time, the dollar store is going up to $1.75 now.
Yeah, I don't even know why it's called the dollar store. It should be.
And it's like
just $1.50.
It went up a quarter during COVID. Now they're jumping up 50 cents. That's a big hike. And it's like, wait a minute here. People's paychecks don't jump up 50%. Or not 50%, but
50 cents an hour.
50 cents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what?
I think eggs actually went down here a little bit in my town.
It went down a little bit here too.
Yeah, they're not so crazy.
They're not $8 a daggone carton anymore. But still, $5 is too much. I remember when they were 99 cents for a dozen of eggs. What the hell happened to that?
Yeah. Well.
And the thing is that everybody's got to realize too is once prices go up,
and they even see
bringing them down.
Yeah, because now guess what? The people see that we're willing to pay for it.
Yeah, you already
paid for it.
Wait
a minute! I just seen him say the other day that prices are going to come down. Prices are going to come down. Quit saying they are if they're not, because then you're lying.
Yeah.
Well, the only way prices will come down is with competition. And that's why they're saying, egg prices have come down. The reason why egg prices has come down a little bit is because he opened up to be able to bring eggs in here from other countries.
Yeah, they brought in over 70 million eggs.
So now you have competition, which brings the price down. But he can't bring no prices down.
We don't know where those eggs are coming from. If they're any good, we could be eating shit eggs.
Well, I don't. I eat farm fresh. We stopped and buy 3 dozen at a time from.
He said they had to destroy a bunch of them because they were bad eggs.
They brought in over 70 million, and they had to destroy
your own chickens. I have chickens.
Well, if they wouldn't have choked their chicken, if Joe Biden wouldn't have, he exterminated how many? Over 100,000 chickens.
Oh yeah,
he was going around. They were killing tons of them at plants.
They did it on purpose.
And that's the thing, though. A lot of people see, hey, we charged $8. Guess what? These idiots paid it. Why would we drop back down to $3 when they are willing to pay $8?
These idiots
like
paid.
Here's the thing, though. Really, like the way I try to look at stuff is like, okay, you go in Walmart, so you buy a Walmart brand, or they got a Great Value brand, $2. Yeah. Then you got Tyson brand, $8. Why would I pay $8 when I can buy a Walmart brand for $2? So when's it going to get to the point where Tyson or whoever company says, okay, we're not making enough, we're overcharging because people are buying the Great Value brand for $2 and we're charging $8. So we need to go down in price so people can start buying our product again. So they drop theirs automatically $2, $3, and then it's like, just right above $1 above the Great Value brand. That'll get people back to their brand. I don't know. Maybe that's the way it works. Maybe not. But I don't buy frozen chicken. I don't buy frozen chicken. But I'm just using that as an example. Like Walmart. Great Value brand. Why would someone, honest to God, sit there and look at and say, okay, there's $2, but then there's the same thing for $8. I'm going to pay the $8.
Biden destroyed over 100 million laying hens. Why?
Yeah, man. They destroyed them. He signed a bill or did something that, they did. It was bird flu going around.
If one bird had the flu, they would destroy all the birds.
Yeah. They have to burn their houses and everything.
That's messed up.
Oh, okay.
They have to burn their houses, their everything.
You don't have to go to the 11th.
You don't have to have anything.
Oh, I didn't mean. Okay. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Why would you shouldn't have to kill all the birds?
Well, it's so easy to spread. That's the problem.
Okay.
My wife
runs. I don't know.
I'm telling you, dude. I don't know a lot, but I know. I mean, my wife is a boss at Cobb. It's a chicken research plant factory. Or farm, not factory. It's a farm. And dude, if one chicken or any of them gets sick in one house, they have to burn the whole house. They have to burn every chicken, everything. They'll have to burn the whole thing down. It's crazy. I
agree with that, Easy. Well, they probably put the bird flu in there. The Biden administration probably put the bird flu in there.
I mean, yeah, he probably coughed on them. That's how nasty he is.
Biden did his very best to sabotage this country and leave Trump with a mess. Yeah, he did.
Well, yeah, dude, have you seen the book that came out they wrote and telling the things that they knew about him and stuff? It's sickening. The things that they allowed the public to lie to the public and the things that was wrong with him and the things that they did around him that he didn't know. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. Somebody wrote a book. I figured they would. I figured there'd be more. There's a couple out right now.
There'll be more to come out.
Oh yeah, and they were telling the things that they knew, like they'd already, like Harris and them, her team, as soon as they went in, had already planned the next year for him to be dead. Said he would be dead in the White House. He would literally die. And they already had a team of lawyers and everything set up and ready for them to make her president. And this was the first year that he was they were in office. Yeah. And they had already had plans and everything drawn up and set up for her to go in. Said that because that's how bad shape he was in. I mean, I'm telling you, the man should have never been in office, even in Congress or anything. He should have never been anything.
They wanted him because they knew they could control him.
Yeah, but I'm saying he he's not as smart as he wanted everybody to think. Like he always had that ego, man. He's had such an ego. He was the kind of guy that always thought he was smartest one in the room. He was better than you. I'd been there, done that.
He said he graduated from the top of his class, and he was like 50th or some kind of.
Yeah, and didn't even go to a pristine college. That's what Trump. I mean, not just Trump, but other people outed him and was like, "Look, dude, this guy graduated in the low, like from the second from the last." I mean, he's like, my IQ's this and that, and price. I mean, he got into it with people that were like years ago when he was doing his little rallies and shit. And I'm like, dude, what an ego on this guy, man. Like I've seen some old videos, and I don't ever know how he even made it that far. He was stupid. He was corrupt. That's why.
Yeah,
he'd been making money. Did you see where Trump commuted the guy's sentence that they had sentenced? That was their Biden's business partner and shit this morning. He was on the news this morning. He community sentence or something.
No, they pardoned him.
Oh, well, he was on Fox this morning talking about it, about the Biden's corruption money.
Wait, give me just a second. Remember when Obama brought those people brought those people from Congo that had Ebola? Yeah, I remember that. And took them to a couple of nurses almost died with why would you bring those people over here? What a fucking idiot, man.
Well, Obama was, he was to me, he was sorry, man. He never did anything for, like, people loved him, especially the black community, because they've had the black people like sheep for years to the Democrat Party.
What happened?
They have been sheep.
What happened in Wisconsin yesterday? Easy Living said the Democrat Party's in.
Oh, they had a bunch of votes.
Or they don't have a leader. However, we took a big loss yesterday in Wisconsin. What did we lose in Wisconsin?
Yeah, they had elections in Wisconsin and different places.
So what did we lose?
I don't know.
To the House.
I've seen some things going on with the election stuff, but I wasn't for sure exactly who had got put in and got it put out, because like I said, I'm not 24/7 on the news. There's things, but yeah. Anyways, that guy.
We're going to lose the House. Oh, we're going to lose the House majority in 2026.
We could.
Trump has to get all his shit.
I don't know. I've heard different. I've heard that
I don't think
they probably won't even. I've heard that they probably won't even win. They'll lose seats because the way they won't change. They're staying so woke.
Well,
I'll say we'll have to wait till 2026.
Well, if the economy turns around and everything, we start living in the golden age. I don't think it is.
Well, I ain't gonna call it the golden age, because until I'm swimming in the golden age myself.
That's right. If you're swimming in the golden age, then
everybody's got to be in the golden age for it to be a golden age. I'm sorry, but I'm still poor, so I'm not in a golden age. They said
if we got rid of taxes and just went straight to tariffs, that this economy would boom. Because think how much money go back in your pocket.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wish they would.
He said we lost the House seat. We lost the House seat to the
Democrats in Wisconsin.
We won 2 seats in Florida, but we lost.
Yeah. I know we won a couple.
So how many are we still ahead in the House? I mean,
I know we won. Both Florida House seats have been won. He said right there. Okay, Republicans secured 2 congressional House seats in Florida. He's got Ron DeSantis on there right now.
Obama said wasn't the smart, even though Biden said he was. Clean.
Yeah, we got 2 seats in Florida, but that we did need Wisconsin though. That would have helped if we wouldn't have lost that. Republicans secured 2 congressional House seats in Florida. Yeah.
Around before 26. He doesn't make some. Yeah, this is right. Easy's got a good. Like I was saying earlier, Easy's got a good point. He said, "I'll tell you right now, boys. It all depends on how Trump turns things around before 2026. If he doesn't make some headway, we are going to be in trouble." I agree with that.
I know. I do too. Anybody can get somebody to vote for them. Anybody can hype people up and get their vote. It's what he does to keep their vote.
Yeah, I thought that was a Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. I didn't think that was a House seat. I thought that was a Supreme Court seat for Wisconsin Supreme Court. That's what I do.
Oh, what's his name was really fighting hard for the Republicans. The guy that young man that's a homosexual, and what's his name? He's got long hair. He's a Republican. He fought real hard for the college kids and the young people. He's got a big name now, big following on social media. He loves he was at the Trump rallies. He was at, I forget, he was set up with the booth.
I think I know.
He's got long hair. He's a gay guy, man, but he seems like a really nice guy. He's man, I can't think of Scott, maybe Scott something, Scott something, I think. But he's done a lot of work. I think he was like really. Isn't that where Trump got shot? Isn't that where Trump got shot, somewhere in Wisconsin?
No, I thought it was Wisconsin. Shit, I don't remember.
I
don't remember.
Or maybe not. How does that blank my mind right now?
I don't know, because
I know all this stuff. Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania. Sorry.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. There's something was Scott Pressler or something. Scott something. I don't know. Anyways, he was doing a lot in the last week. He had been doing a lot of stuff trying to get these voters out. Butler.
The guy from Pennsylvania who worked so hard to get out the vote.
Yeah. Okay. Scott something. Scott Pressler or something. I don't know. I think it's something like that. Anyways, yeah, man. He works hard, dude. He like really for the party.
He's that gay guy with the
task force.
I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he's been working his tail off. Yeah,
dude. He's just from what I've seen, he seems like a really good guy. Like a lot of people love that dude, man, because he's all the stuff that, which we're not racist people and fascists like they say we are. We're not all, all the crap that they say. I mean, I can't say a lot. To be honest, it's not my genre. To be, that doesn't bother me what he does personally. That's his life.
I don't care.
It's not for me. It's not my place to judge the man.
Nope. But you know what? There's left-wing radicals, there's right-wing radicals, and there's center radicals. There's radicals all over this damn country.
Yep.
I don't care what group you're in.
I don't think he's a radical.
I'm just saying. That's why we're in the shape we're in. There's radicals every freaking.
Well, and the reason why is because all of them up there in government has pitted us against each other for years and years, and that's what they want, in my opinion. They want us in the streets at each other's throat. And I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says. They can argue with me 100%. Obama started a lot of that dividing.
Yep.
He wanted to lie and claim that he was going to be a uniter, just like Joe Biden did. The adults are back in the White House. We're going to unite the country. What do? They start burning down cities over Black Lives Matter. I mean, they kill cops. Over 100 cops get injured and killed, and they burn down these cities. Oh, that ain't. That's your Antifa. That's your Black Lives Matter T-shirt people that are doing this stuff. Don't say it's not your party, because that's what you wanted and that's what you got. You didn't bring nobody together. You divided more than you did anything. And Obama said crap.
Why is it the media doesn't say anything about all this terrorism that attacks on Tesla? Why,
they're scared to condemn it. They're told not to.
It's worse than January 6th.
Yeah.
People are
that's what they're scared of.
People are pulling, cutting in front of people, getting out and punching people in their cars.
Yeah.
This 60-something-year-old lady, this guy with a motorcycle pulls in front of her, boxes her in, gets out and starts punching her because she has a tussle.
See, that gives everybody that rides motorcycles a bad name.
I'm pretty sure it was a motorcycle.
I'm saying it don't seem like it does, because not everybody rides motorcycles like that. But in the media, and then you know what I mean? In the news is what gives the people gives us the bad name. Oh, it was a motorcycle rider. So all riders are like this. They're just going to,
the motorcycle one,
they betray us.
And he came up, it was an older gentleman. That's what it was. The motorcycle one was, he cut off a Cybertruck. And an older gentleman was in the Cybertruck, and the guy comes up threatening him, and he pulled out a gun.
Yeah. Well, they'll stop that shit. I'm telling you, just like someone else said the other day, they'll stop at as soon as someone shoots somebody.
So, exactly. And then the other one,
somebody does that,
car pulled over, boxed in this old lady, and got out, and this guy started beating this old lady, and then
that's crazy, man.
Car came out and grabbed him and took him.
I would have. Hey,
I was gonna say, a citizen should have.
If I had been there and seen that guy doing that,
I would have knocked him out, dude.
I'd have beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I would have too. I'd have probably put a chokehold on him, and he'd have been asleep. My taekwondo and karate for 10 years would come in handy.
Well, somebody's going to end up getting hurt or killed because they're going to walk up to the wrong person.
It's really not funny.
I tell you what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to learn Muay Thai. I got long legs. I love to kick. I love to kick someone's face, like standing. You know what I mean? Like not while they're on the ground, but I'm saying like in competition when I was doing taekwondo and karate. Wow. I always wanted to, because they fight with their knees, man, and their legs. You know what I mean? Taekwondo is in their elbows, and it's like I don't know, dude. Just something about that. You know, that kind of fighting is awesome, dude. Yeah, I would have choked the dude out, or I'd have knocked his teeth down his throat.
Permanent sleep.
Sorry to say like that, but you know, if I'd seen somebody, I don't care if it's in that situation or not. If I see somebody being abusive to a woman, you do have the right to step in and protect people.
Well,
you know,
the thing is, how are you a tough guy if you're beating up a 65-year-old?
Exactly. Exactly.
Really?
Yeah,
exactly. You're not a tough guy. You're a coward. That's what a coward does. Exactly. You know why? Because they can't stand up to a real man and do that.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do it to a man. They go pull.
They want to do it to a woman, old woman, or a young woman, or a young girl, or they want to do it to an old man or a young boy that can't defend themselves.
Right.
That's the only time people you see is when they do that. They want to bully old people or young teenagers or kids because they can't stand up to a real man their age or whatever. Yeah. I'm telling you, just like I said, people will have enough of that shit when someone pulls out a pew-pew and ends somebody real quick. This shit, but you watch, it'll be, oh, there was a white man killing somebody, another.
Yeah,
they'll turn the story to, violence. Yeah. And, it was a racist Nazi driving a Tesla that killed somebody, They'll twist and turn. Gamma go Joe. All right. Yeah, I mean it's sorry, man. I mean, if you can't stand up, and that's the thing, you got to watch if you travel on vacation, go to a certain state, you're going to a certain state, look up their laws before you even leave your house. Figure out what you can and can't do. If you can carry, if you can't.
I carry mine everywhere.
I'm saying you have the right to carry anywhere pretty much, but I'm just saying. Find out if it's concealed or non-concealed, because they still arrest your ass, no matter if you got license or not.
I don't leave my front door without it.
Tennessee doesn't have you don't have to no more have a.
We're constitutional.
It's an open carry. Tennessee's an open carry now. I don't think you have to have a concealed weapon permit. It's good to have it. I think it's good to have
mine.
Well, I think the difference is constitutional carry. You can carry, your gun, but you can't carry it in your car.
Or you can't be a felon.
You can.
That's just regular laws, though.
Yeah, you can. You can in Ohio. You can carry your constitutional. You can carry it in your car. You carry it anywhere you want to, because they tried to.
Not if you're a felon.
No, I'm saying Coy was saying you can't carry it in your car. Yes, you can, because they tried to. Cincinnati tried to stop that, and Governor DeWine said nope. It's for all the state of Ohio. You carry it in your car. But
it has to be seen, right? Open, or what?
No,
it can't be concealed, or what?
Yes, it can be concealed. It can be concealed because you don't have to have a license anymore.
Okay, I was going to say because they stopped that too in Tennessee. They stopped that concealed shit, I think, because it was getting a lot of people in trouble.
Doesn't mean the right to go sleeveless.
But yeah, I mean, they say I can't carry, but I never listen to that.
I agree with
that bullshit. I don't listen to them. I carry everywhere. I don't care. They're not allowed
to carry in the state of Maine without a permit. Yes.
They're not allowed to search my vehicles without my consent.
All right, guys, we've been on here 2 hours. So, We're gonna rock and roll.
Rock it all night. Don't forget tonight, guys. We are on the Unchained Down the Rabbit Hole channel.
Rabbit Hole.
Please go over and subscribe.
Landing. It's not real.
Is the moon landing real? So if anybody's listening out there on radio or Pandora, come over to YouTube and watch us discuss if you believe the moon landing is fake or real.
Exactly. And check out Raysmotolife channel.
This is for entertainment purposes.
I don't know how many channels he's got.
I got 3.
He's got so many of them.
Right Lane Talk. The 2 important ones is Raysmotolife and Right Lane Talk.
And check out Lost in the Woods with Coy because he's got some new content up.
No, we don't. Yes. He's got some good woodworking content.
And don't forget, like we said, we're here Monday on my channel, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my channel on the early morning lives, and we're on Ray's channel on Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah. And then we got the Rabbit Hole tonight and the Rabbit Hole Sunday night. So check us out. But that's the opening topic tonight. Doesn't mean we're going to stay on that topic, but that is the opening topic, the layman. But check us out tonight. We'll be back here at 7:30 on the Rabbit Hole channel. Unchained Down the Rabbit Hole. So check us out. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you then. Take care now.